Tron, what's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing all right, doing all right. It's a nice Thursday. It's finally nice out. It only took a whole winter season to get through. Where
Yeah,
are you calling from?
uh, Rockland, Valley Cottage, New York.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Not 100% familiar with that area. Are you by the Nyack?
yeah. Nyack and Valley Cottage are basically like the same thing. They're right next to each other.
Oh, okay, all right. I frequent the mall up there, as do numerous other people.
Yeah, yeah. I live right next to them all.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right, so you are one half of Tron and DVD, which is
That is
one
correct.
one hell of a rap name. I got to tell you that much. Where'd you get it from? Is it from the movie, or is it like a play off of your name, or?
Yeah, basically, I've had a bunch of rap names, just terrible, like trying really hard, and then it was actually my nickname in high school was just Norvatron 5000, and that's what everyone called me, and that's what I went with, and then it just shortened into Tron when I started, doing serious projects. And DVD basically, that's his initials, so he's just always been DVD.
Oh, I mean that
And
helps.
yeah, and so we thought about getting like a group name, but we were like, we do stuff on the side, like solo stuff, so kind of makes more sense to just keep it at that.
Yeah, which I did listen to over on your SoundCloud page, which is soundcloud.com/Tron and DVD, and there's
Yes.
two D's in there just for people listening at home. And
Yeah.
actually listened to Dark Ocean, and actually liked it. There was a good blend of there was like some Kid Cudi samples, and your flow is somewhat like Atmosphere. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
Yes, definitely. Definitely a big Atmosphere fan, so I'll take that compliment.
Absolutely. What made you think that you have the SoundCloud page and you decided to release both your stuff and DVD stuff and then a mixture of both instead of having, three different accounts?
Well, we always were Tron and DVD once we like started pursuing, I guess, as a business standpoint, pursuing music, and just one of the big things about being marketable and being easy to find and is simplicity. Like you don't want to have too many different sites. You don't want to have all kinds of crazy combinations of names. So we came down to just Tron and DVD, everything. TronandDVD.com, Tron and DVD Twitter, Tron and DVD Facebook, because that's the way professionals do it. And if you want to be professional, you gotta make sure that if someone just saw you one day at a show, they can easily look that up. They don't have to dig around. You can just type it in, and you'll be able to find us pretty easily.
Yeah, which is a great thing. I mean, bands nowadays, they have like a different Facebook, then their Twitter, then their Instagram, and, it's like six different links instead of having just one said link.
Exactly. It's something that I've prided myself on, just like being, because going to school for music, my professor was always like, if someone asks you, oh, can I listen to your stuff? And if you have to say more than like two things, then it's already too late. You want to give it to them quick and fast.
Yeah, I totally agree. Where'd you go to school for music?
I went to school at Mercy College for music industry and technology.
Okay, yeah, I did the same thing, only it was up at University of New Haven, up in Connecticut.
Yeah, cool.
I guess you're not in like the music industry, like they promised you.
Well, no, it's a funny story. I actually had a few pretty good internships, and I always did it, on my own on the side, booking, press, and things like that. And then we actually got picked up by an independent label, Kayam Records. So I've been, working with that, and then actually I started working for the label as an employee as well later on. So I kind of am like working for this label at the same time of being on it.
Oh wow, so it's like a player manager type of deal.
Yeah.
Do you butt heads with anyone over there because of that, or is everyone just chill over there?
No, it's a pretty it's a small label, but it's actually pretty successful. And my boss is like the main artist on it, and she so far we're just, writing a lot of songs, trying to develop a plan, see what direction we're going to go. So we're not making any decisions yet. We're making a bunch of stuff to choose from. So I wouldn't say I've had to, debate any of my choices yet.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
It's always great to be on the same level as, your bosses and your peers.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely been an experience because usually, before this, it was just me and my brother and just doing things like everyone else, just putting it out on the internet and just trying to play gigs. And now that it's becoming a little more, professional, that it's definitely interesting learning experience.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, anyways, I'm sure you've been into music your whole life. Where did it start? Was it your family? Did you hear like a record, maybe Nas's Illmatic, or how did it all begin?
Well, yeah, I mean, like the first stuff I can remember listening to was like Wu-Tang Clan and like Rage Against the Machine, and, like the Doors, because like I was born in '88, so I started listening, probably remembering what music I could listen to, probably around like maybe 93, 92, 4 or 5 years old. And I remember my brother, because Wu-Tang had a lot of curses in it, so I wasn't really allowed to listen to it, but my older brother would let me listen to it like really low so my parents couldn't hear. So so we would basically just try to do what they did. Like that's how, everyone really should start, is just trying to mimic things that they heard. And we had like a tape recorder and we just put on beats and tried the freestyle. And, if we could write at the time, then, we would be able to write and just try to make things from scratch. Like from day one, it's always been about using the tools and the equipment that you have at your disposal and just trying to make the best out of it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I started with like, a little tape recorder, went to like a little bigger boom box and, karaoke machine. And then, once computers started getting into the mix, then, every type of mic you could possibly hook up into a computer. Once they became really commercial, then I've used it probably. So
hey, nothing wrong with that. It's all about trial and error in the music world.
Yeah, and now that we got to this point where we're actually recording at a professional studio, it just seems like I'm going in the right direction, progressing as far as recording goes.
Oh, absolutely. And also with your concerts. I mean, we have a mutual friend in Tori who has also been on this podcast numerous times. Mm-hmm. And she actually gave me the heads up that you've opened up for 21 Pilots.
Yeah, that was a really cool show and fun experience because those guys are super cool. And right now they're obviously like as big as you can get.
Yeah, one of the biggest bands right now.
Yeah, and it's dope because literally the show we played with them, it was like the night before their like big like label showcase. So, and I remember talking to them about like how that show after our show was going to be the one to like, really see what direction they were going to go in and see if labels were going to like, their label was going to like really like, push them. And I guess it worked out. So
yeah. And where was the show at?
It was at Ramapo College.
Oh, wow. They played there?
Yeah, it was like we just played one of their like smaller event rooms that they had. We played there a bunch of times, even like outside and stuff. But they got them there. Yeah, they weren't really that super big at the time. It was like right before things really blew up for them.
Nah, I hear you there. I mean, I've been to Ramapo once for a show, and this was back in 2005 or 6, and it was Yellow Card right after Ocean Avenue came out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and to think that they're playing, like, Starland, they're playing whatever theater was in New York, probably Best Buy Theater or Nokia Theater at the time, and then they're playing some college, and I'm just like, I'm scratching my head. I'm like, how am I seeing this band right now?
Yeah. Yeah, they have a dope music department. I guess someone knows what they're doing over there.
Yeah, them and William Patterson. I don't know if you're aware of that university.
Yeah, I actually played their radio stations fundraiser thingy.
Oh, that 24 hours of live events? Yeah.
That was really fun. And we did like their little interview on their TV station and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see all these institutions, all these educational places, colleges, and even some high schools are starting to pick up the music, thankfully.
Yeah, and what's good about it is that, you get to see where a lot of these newer, younger bands are getting some of their rise. You know, like if it wasn't for college radio, a lot of people would not know a lot of bigger people before they got bigger. You know, we'd all just see them as soon as they got super huge and not know about, you know, the earlier stuff, you know, because really college radio really deals with a lot of indie labels and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And getting
absolutely.
their stuff out.
Yeah, I know that the college radio station for Seton Hall was one of the first ones to break My Chemical Romance.
Yeah, see, you never really know, you know, because it could just be anyone that works there. They say, hey, this is cool, let's put it on. They don't have to go through anyone else, really, and, you know, you never know what's going to happen with that band next.
Yeah, as long as there's no FCC violations or any of that, you know, if
Right.
there's no cursing, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
And to think you could just make a huge break. I mean, look at 21 Pilots. They basically got big. I don't want to say overnight and not, discredit them of their achievements, but it was basically overnight.
As far as the mainstream goes, I would say kind of, yeah, overnight because they were only on their second album, and it's like, you know, it did so well. But I remember talking to Tyler about how they were playing for 7 years before they got a record deal. You know, just grinding it out like a lot of, you know, underground bands do. So, you know, for them, it definitely wasn't overnight. But
Yeah.
for anyone, you know, just watching from the first album, then yeah, it was pretty quick to be, you know, selling out Madison Square Garden like 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they're doing like one of the things I'm liking that bands are doing right now, that they're pre-selling a tour a year in advance just because they're hot right now, and I'm not saying they're going to be hot next year or not, but you know, they already sold out all these arenas already. Like same thing with that 5 Seconds of Summer did. I think last year for this year. And they sold everything out, and now they're kind of fizzling out, but
I mean, you know, you got to get the dates, and if you have the base to actually sell out stadiums like that, then you don't have to worry about fizzing out anytime soon. As far as, you know, and 21 Pilot fans are definitely really diehard. They're definitely, you know, they really connect and relate, which is cool because those guys are pretty cool dudes, and they're really well deserving of it.
yeah, and like you said, their fan base is very insane.
Yeah.
It's almost comparable to like One Direction or 5 Seconds of Summer, like the boy bands. Even though they are, I don't want to say legitimate, but it's not this. It's different. It's not the same copy paste thing like other boy bands
No,
are.
definitely. It's really what you're seeing basically is uh, a real deal big push on an authentic act that would probably be, you know, if it wasn't for someone taking a chance on them, would probably still be underground. Not that they're not super talented, but for the fact that it's hard to get a real push with something so authentic and um, relatable to, you know, Outcast or anyone who feels like they're not part of the mainstream. So they really represent like a kind of underdog type thing when it comes to fame, even though they're super famous, you know,
Oh,
like they have
absolutely.
songs about making cheesy radio hits, yet they have 4 or 5 radio hits right now. You know, it's kind of, it's ironic, but still, you know, it just proves that, you know, you just got to go the right way and go with the lane that you're given, and, you know, work hard and not give up, basically. You know, me and Dario, my brother DVD, have been at it for about, well, professionally for about 6 or 7 years, I think. And, you know, so for them to tell me that it took them 7 years, like, I don't get discouraged by it at all.
No, I mean it definitely takes a while, and I've seen a whole bunch of bands. Usually around the 7 year mark. If you don't have a solid fan base by then, you're just not going to have it.
That's and it also has to do with like your progression. You know, if you're not getting any better or getting better gigs, then you might have to try something different. And for us, we've just been getting better and, you know, getting more looks and, you know, getting new ears every time we make something. There's new ears on it, so that's all that matters, really.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen you played at places like the Bitter End, Live from the Gutter in Brooklyn.
Mhm.
Is there other places that you frequent?
Yeah, we've played at like Santos Party House a lot, Webster Hall, a bunch of times, Knitting Factory. We did Warped Tour in 2011 on a date in Long Island, and then we did Bamboozle in 2011 as well, on the Spitter stage with like Big Sean, Pusha T, Machine Gun Kelly. and that was huge for us. That really like sparked us. We've played all over the city, all over Brooklyn, Glasslands, like some of the big DIY venues that were, really, getting a lot of up and comers in Brooklyn. Just we just played. We recently played Union Pool, which is, a lot of bands that are making it have to go through certain venues in Brooklyn, and that's like one of them. So yeah, we've definitely been trying to work as much as possible.
No, I hear you there, and that's the only thing you can do is grind. I mean, unless you get famous off of YouTube, like Justin Bieber, you have to put the work in. You have to be traveling to different places. And have you ever been on a tour yet, or you just kept it local right now?
We've pretty much just been tri-state area. New York City, just mostly you have to. We're going to be working on doing a little tour, hopefully this summer, when we start releasing a few more singles for the label.
So I guess it's going to be maybe like a label tour, maybe you and other people on the label, or is it like maybe similar artists?
Like usually a similar artist, probably someone a little more notable. A lot of bands on our label tour with bigger acts. Like my boss has toured with Nico Case. A band on our label, Birda Youth, is going on tour with Nada Surf and Aqua River. So it's looking good as far as progression.
So you guys might be going out with Run the Jewels.
That would be the dream right there, but maybe a little smaller.
Well, yeah.
to start.
Hey, you know what? Dream big. That's all I have to say.
You got it.
Besides Run the Jewels, any other big names you'd like to tour with, or any names in general?
Yeah, I mean, we've played with a lot of very cool artists that, I would love to even play with again, even if we were gotten bigger. And, like a lot of people that we played with have gotten super big. Like we used to play with Kay Flay a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And she's just really successful now too. So if, like our sounds mix well with people like that we've been playing with a lot of people that I could see us just playing with more and more, like Mega Ran, On Cue, Spose, Kay Flay. We've a lot of these indie artists have just been grinding it out just as long, and everyone's achieving a little bit of success. As far as just like really big, I like a few duos that are out, like Run the Jewels and like Greaves and Budo. Just a little more like alternative rap, like not really like super crazy
mainstream type of deal.
Not that I don't like it, just like our sound just meshes well with people that have a little bit more open mind. Like it's not like we're talking about the same exact stuff, like there's like guys like Chance the Rapper, like stuff like that I like a lot,
Yeah.
And I feel like fans of certain people will, ease towards us a lot more if the music that we're playing with is a little more abstract and alternative.
No, absolutely. And I've listened to your stuff, and it's not. I don't want to say it's not like mainstream rap, or it's going to pick it up. But I mean, like mainstream rap, what I think basically focuses on that one hook where they say it over and over again. While you guys, you have the flow, you got the beats down. And then you have like the little hook there, which is it's not too repetitive, which is
right.
Which is what I like.
Yeah. Well, people have to understand that like for hooks especially, there's just got to be different formulas for it. Like you can have that one where it's just like you can say a phrase over and over because hip hop has definitely had that, even in its classic days. It definitely had simple hooks, but then you've also forgotten about hooks that are just like a part of the verse, that sound like it's a part of the verse. It just matters on what you do and how you use it. If it can, if it works to your advantage, and then if you do it too much, then obviously you can tell that someone ran out of ideas.
and there's a few rap songs I've heard of where I'm like, really?
Yeah, it's when you have something that produces a bit of success. There are people that are going to innovate and feed off of it and try to do something better, and then there are people who are going to squeeze it until it's completely done and you have to make something new, or else, you know, or else it's going to be bad. So you have a certain sound, like I guess you have like the future type sound, that's, you know, obviously super successful right now, but is it going to be the same sound in a year? Like, I don't know. Like last year it was like DJ Mustard beats, and you ride the wave, and then you gotta keep it moving. And you see the people who have lasted are the people who evolve and keep it moving, and then you see the people who are just hot for that 1 year because of that sound.
No, absolutely. I totally agree. And it's basically the most successful ones evolve correctly. I mean, for example, I don't know if you heard Kid Cudi's latest album where he decided to do grunge rock. I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to?
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of that album. I am a huge Kid Cudi fan, and the couple of singles he's put out recently are really good, and they're back to kind of his more melodic style. But, you know, that's the type of artist he is. He's trying things, and he's actually looking to, you know, raise the bar, and he's looking to do something different instead of, you know, doing what worked for him when he started and doing it over and over until people get tired of it. He's innovating, and there's a lot of innovative artists, and there's a lot of people who are just like, oh, I'm going to use the same thing because it works, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, look at Drake, for example. The last like 3 releases he put out are like totally different.
Yeah, what I love. I'm a big Drake fan, but I think after this, obviously, it's time to innovate a little more. I feel like this sound that he has right now is obviously that, you know, that great Drake sound, but it's like, are you going to take 10 albums of it? Or are you going to do 6 and do, you know, a different type of thing? You know, it's just, you know, and that's what's cool about music, and that's what's cool about the artists that like to change. It's like you never know what they're going to do next, and there are certain artists that you're going to know exactly what they're going to do next. You know, it's like, oh, just another typical this type of track, and that works for them, and that if they want to make money and be successful that way, that's fine. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's really who you want to be as an artist, and do you want to be a game changer, or do you want to just, you know, ride the wave and, you know, see how long you can use the same recipe.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, the perfect example, love him or hate him, is Kanye.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm also a huge Kanye fan. So,
same here, yeah.
Anytime someone says, "Yo, you hear that new Kanye?" I'm like, I need to hear it, because I can't. I couldn't tell you what I think a new Kanye song would sound like, you know. And that's part of the best thing about him, and that's the reason why no matter what he does, he's still gonna get so much attention when he drops an album, because people don't know what it sounds like until they press play.
Yeah, and to think that he went through, I think, what do you say, like either 50 or 500 songs that he just does. He does like a song or two a day, and I'm just like baffled by it.
A lot of people do. I'm noticing that now, just being on an indie, that, you know, you do that even when you're not Kanye. you make a lot of songs and you pick the best ones.
His latest one was The Life of Pablo, and I think that was like maybe 20 tracks. Like, how do you go through like 500 songs and just go, all right, these 20 are good?
Yeah, I have no idea. But it is interesting.
So how many do you usually do? Like Tron and DVD, how many do you guys do before you come out with an album?
I mean, what we've been used to doing, like before we even got picked up, was I would literally plan out the album like, all right, I'm doing 11 to 13 tracks, and I'll make probably either 11 or 13.
Okay, you're one of those. All right.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we usually do. But the way that, you know, once you get into, you got people riding on, you know, making the best product that you can make, then you got to really start producing a lot more songs. So that's what we've been doing lately. It's just, I've been making a lot of beats, and we've been writing to a lot of different things, and we're looking for a correlation of songs that are going to fit together for the album.
Okay, so basically the same style songs are going to be together. You know, it's not more of like a compilation album that I do see like in most mixtapes.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you're doing an album, then you definitely want to have a consistent theme and a sound, something that makes someone go from track 1 all the way to the last track in order. And mixtapes are mixtapes. You know, I love doing mixtapes. They're fun, and I feel like you got a little more freedom on them as far as, you know, just what you put on it. But then again, everyone always wants to make their own, you know, their really start from scratch creation, and that's where albums should be.
Yeah, they really should. And it's pretty cool to see, you going out for 11 or 13 tracks and you're doing that 11 or 13 like the best ones. It's not like, all right, I'm down to like these final three. One of them's going to make the cut, but I want to include this one.
But that's definitely the common practice, is to do a lot of songs. And, there are so many songs out there from artists that we probably love that never see the light of day. And it's interesting to think, when will you ever hear them, or if you will ever hear them?
Yeah, the latest one is Prince. Apparently, he could put out an album for the next 50 years or something like that. That's what his estate said.
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely, if you have a studio in your house and all your job is to make music, and you're as talented as he is, then that's gonna be what you're gonna have.
I could only just be extremely nervous to see. All right, you know what? Maybe this sounds repetitive to that, or that sounds the same as that, or like this.
That definitely happens. But when you're not putting them out yet, you're gonna have 20 songs that probably sound similar, but there's only one spot for that song. So you pick out of those 20, which one of these is the best party track. Let's say you only have room for one party track, and you made 20 party tracks. So that's why you do it, because you want to pick the best one to go into that position, not just the only one that you made.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I'm the type of person that would second guess myself a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the process I've been going through as just like an artist, like especially learning from my boss, and just doing a bunch of reading. You can't worry about what happens after you make a song. You have to just make the song, and even if you don't think it's going to come out or anything, you just make the song first. So, then it's not a problem if you make 20 songs that all sound the same, because you don't have to use them all.
And plus, you can also throw out a B-side, a rarity record, and or upload them for free on SoundCloud. Yeah,
like a lot of bands do. They always come out later with the special, demos, or like I know that Fleetwood Mac for Record Store Day came out with a completely alternative version of Tusk that were just like other versions of the songs on Tusk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's like, do you really need that? But, it's still interesting to have.
Yeah, but their fans are going to eat it up regardless.
Exactly. So. Yeah.
Look, they can basically do what they want. They're on the FU money type of stage right now.
Yeah, no, then that's what it's like really all about. Getting to that point where your fans are gonna, like, if Kanye dropped demos, I'd definitely, download them, like, or if he dropped a vinyl of like B-sides, I would totally buy it.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, he did a great thing with the whole Good Friday releases.
Yeah, that was a very good. That was good stuff. I really enjoyed that when he did that.
Yeah, and the best part was he ended up putting a few album cuts, which I think was My Big Beautiful Dark Fantasy.
Yeah.
He put a few album cuts on those releases, so you would think, okay, yeah, that's not gonna make the album, and then you hear it, you're like, oh my god, it did.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was about to say, did you ever try to do something similar? Can you do like a song a week, or you just?
Yeah, when we were working on a couple of mixtapes back, we had this thing called Sick Life Saturdays, where we just put out like a random song, and a few of them ended up on Adventure Time too, which was a kind of bigger mixtape for us, as far as the people who do listen to us, they liked a lot.
It's basically you're testing the water before you throw it all on an album.
Yeah, and sometimes you just want to put something out just to be a musician, and you just want to be like, hey guys, look what I made today, and it doesn't even have to be, it doesn't have to be an album. It doesn't have to be this big thing. It can just be like, I was bored the other day and I made this because I have a studio in my house. And, like, people don't realize how much freedom they have with the technology that they have before you are doing music professionally. People always worry about, is it the right time? It's like, do you have a boss, or do you have like anticipation of an album? Like, no. So just make your fucking music. I'm sorry. Can I curse on here?
Oh, fuck yeah. Curse as much as you want.
It's like, make your music and then put it out. Like, if you're not signed or anything, just keep putting it out. No one is going to stop liking you if you put out a lot of music. I mean, will everyone get to listen to it? Like, no, but if that's what you want to do, then then do it. You shouldn't go against your instincts, before you start planning it like as like a business. Like now, like we're planning it like obviously we can't just drop the album tomorrow because we need people to buy it. So we have to, start from the beginning and start from, promoting and doing a single and a video and press and stuff like that. But if you don't have that, then there's nothing you need to worry about besides a few, Facebook posts and a few emails to some blogs and then put it out. And then if not enough people like it, then make something better and after and do it again.
And that's great that you don't get discouraged after, if you have one dud release, you don't go, all right, you know what, I'm hanging it up, I can't do this anymore, which a lot of people actually do.
Yeah, and what the thing about that is, it's like anything in the world. Then it wasn't meant for you. You got to have the right mindset. You can't expect if you give up after a little criticism or a little negative commentary, then what are you gonna do when you have 1 million fans and then there's 1 million other people who are like, oh, that album sucks. Like, what are you gonna do?
Exactly. The best piece of advice I've ever heard was, you know what, not all of your fans are going to like the stuff, but if you try to appeal to everyone, you're going to appeal to no one.
Exactly. It's very simple, and it's a very hard thing for a lot of people to get over as well.
Yeah, plus the fact that, you were once a private citizen, and now you're making yourself known, and you're making your creation, your blood, your sweat, your tears, and basically you put your soul on a track, and if someone doesn't like it, you can't really take it that much to heart because it's not meant for them.
Well, yeah, it's not. And it would be impossible to make something that everyone would like. All that matters is the people that do like it.
Absolutely. And like I last podcast, I talked with a guitarist. His name is Rich Ward, and he came up with like the 10% rule, where 10% of people aren't going to like it. I mean, if you're at a show and 9 people are into the music while one person's on their phone, are you really going to focus in on that one person and wonder why they're not liking it, or are you going to like the 9 others that like it?
And he could not like it for a reason that the 9 other people do like it. So the majority is going to win, and it's really, it has to also go along with what I said earlier about what kind of artist you want to be.
Yeah.
That's a thing that people need to decide before they even ever get paid for anything. They need to decide what kind of artist they're going to be, because this other stuff, all these other things that can happen are going to change or affect you in ways that could change you. So if you stay the course, you say, I want to be this artist, and you apply that to every decision that comes your way, then you won't let yourself down.
Absolutely. And you just have to remember, it's all about what you feel is great.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Tron, it's been a pleasure talking with you. Do you have any plugs for the people?
Yeah, I mean, just check out kiamrecords.com, KIAM records.com. And definitely just, be on the lookout for some stuff from us. Yeah, we have a lot out there, but, the more time we take right now that's how people know that we're actually working really hard instead of rushing to put something out just because we got, a bigger platform now. So kiamrecords.com, Tron and DVD on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and just keep supporting, underground music. Don't feel bad about not going to, Beyonce's Formation tour. She's going to be okay. It's not that I want to go there. I'm just saying, like, don't feel bad about it. But if there's a band that's playing at the local venue, and you actually like them, then you want them to succeed. So go see them, buy the merch, buy the records, because it's kind of like voting. You vote with your money. If you don't like the people you hear on the radio and TV, then guess what? Someone is buying their shit to put them there. So
exactly,
you wanna definitely support the music you want to see succeed, or you want to make it. If you don't like the song, make one better.
Yeah. It's so easy to criticize when you're behind a computer screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and for more details, you can also go to tronanddvd.com,
Yep.
and you can also listen to their stuff on SoundCloud for free, soundcloud.com/tronanddvd. But like you said,
Also,
definitely support.
Spotify, Tidal, iTunes, Apple Music, just Tron and DVD. It's all there. On YouTube, we got a lot of videos, live videos. We're doing a little mini series called Boys Get Lost, Men Explore, just about, us going to the studio and like preparing to like, upgrade to this bigger platform of, independent record labels. So
Oh, that's awesome. A little behind the scenes look.
yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's great. So yeah, definitely buy. Please don't steal, because stealing gets you nowhere.
Yeah.
It gets the artist nowhere. So if you actually like Tron and DVD stuff, buy it off of iTunes. You have a web store, right, on your website?
Oh no, we're not. We don't sell anything right now.
Oh, okay.
So that stuff is free for now. That the music is free for now.
Okay, so then go on Spotify and then give them your 1/10 of a penny
Yes.
for each stream, because that's not bullshit or anything.
It's for people like us, it's big, but for I guess when you're missing out on millions, then it's terrible.
Yeah, look, it's perfect marketing, especially once you add a playlist with similar artists and you throw your music in there. Apparently, that's the way to go with Spotify. That's what a lot of people have told me. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's great because it's a thing a lot of people have to listen to bigger artists. So if they see that you're on there, they're gonna, be like, oh, okay, cool. Instead of like, having to like put a CD in their car or, go download a mixtape off of like Dat Piff or something. It's already in the main store where they get their favorite music anyway.
Exactly. You're just one click away.
Yep. The easier, the better.
Damn right. Tron, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Of
Great
course.
chatting. Yeah.
Of course. Later, man.